Jai Hind friends, welcome to your channel Career Ladder. Reading is important to improve English speaking skills. Keeping this in mind, we have brought to you an interesting story full of suspense, and the name of the story is The Neighborhood Hero. Let's start. Chapter 1 is A New Neighbor. Ravi lived in a quiet neighborhood where everyone knew each other. The kids played in the park, and the adults often chatted over tea. One day, a new family moved in next door. They were different, quiet, and reserved. Ravi was curious, but didn't want to intrude. Who are they? He wondered. That evening, as Ravi walked past their house, he noticed a boy sitting on the porch. The boy looked about his age, but there was something in his eyes sadness, perhaps loneliness. Ravi hesitated, then waved. The boy didn't wave back. Maybe he just needs time, Ravi thought. But as days passed, the new boy Arjun stayed distant. He didn't join the kids in the park and rarely came outside. Should I talk to him? Ravi questioned himself. What if he doesn't want to be friends? The uncertainty gnawed at him, but his curiosity grew stronger. One day, after school, Ravi saw Arjun sitting alone on the park bench. This time, he decided to approach him. Hi, I'm Ravi, he said with a smile. Arjun looked up, surprised, but didn't say much. Maybe he just needs a friend, Ravi thought, and he decided to try again tomorrow. As Ravi turned to leave, he noticed something unusual. A shadow moving behind the bushes near the park. Is someone watching us? He wondered, his heart racing. Should I tell someone? Or am I just imagining things? The Neighborhood Hero, Chapter 2 The Mystery Unfolds. The next day, Ravi couldn't shake off the feeling that something wasn't right. He kept thinking about the shadow in the park. Was it real? Or was it just my imagination? He pondered. When he got home, he decided to investigate further. That evening, Ravi went back to the park. He walked around, pretending to play, but his eyes were searching for any sign of the mysterious figure. Just when he was about to give up, he heard a rustling sound. There it is again, he thought, his heart pounding. He followed the sound quietly and was surprised to find Arjun standing behind the bushes, staring intently at something in the distance. What is he looking at? Ravi wondered. He approached cautiously and whispered, Arjun, what are you doing here? Arjun jumped, startled. You scared me, he said, trying to catch his breath. Ravi could see the fear in his eyes. I'm sorry. Ravi apologized. But what is going on? Why are you hiding here? Arjun hesitated, looking unsure whether to trust Ravi. Finally, he spoke in a low voice. I've noticed someone suspicious around here. I think they are up to no good. Ravi felt a chill run down his spine. Who? What do you mean? He asked, trying to understand. Arjun explained. Every night I have seen a man sneaking around the neighborhood. I don't know what he's doing, but it doesn't feel right. Ravi felt a mix of fear and excitement. Should we tell someone? He suggested. Just then, they heard footsteps approaching. Quick, hide! Arjun whispered urgently. They both ducked behind the bushes as a dark figure moved closer. Who is it? Ravi wondered, his heart pounding in his chest. Are we in danger? The Neighborhood Hero, Chapter 3, A Brave Decision. Ravi and Arjun stayed hidden, barely breathing. The figure walked past them, unaware of their presence. That was close, Ravi whispered. Once the coast was clear, we have to do something. Arjun replied, his voice shaking slightly. But what? What if no one believes us? The two boys hurried back to Ravi's house. We need a plan, Ravi said, trying to think clearly despite the fear gripping him. We can't just ignore this. Arjun nodded in agreement. But we have to be careful, he added. We don't know who we are dealing with. Ravi's mind raced. Should we go to the police? He thought. But then he realized that they needed more information before they could accuse anyone. We have to find out what this man is really up to, he said, his determination growing. But how? Arjun asked, doubt creeping into his voice. Ravi suggested, what if we follow him? Maybe we can figure out what he's doing. Arjun looked nervous. What if we get caught? He asked, voicing the fear they both felt. Ravi looked at Arjun, his heart pounding. It's risky, he admitted, but it might be the only way to keep our neighborhood safe. Arjun hesitated, then nodded slowly. Okay, he agreed, but we have to be careful. As they prepared to follow the mysterious man that night, the question loomed in their minds. What will we discover and will we be able to handle it? The Neighborhood Hero, Chapter 4, The Dangerous Discovery. That night, Ravi and Arjun waited anxiously by the window, watching for any sign of the mysterious man. What if he doesn't show up? Arjun whispered. What if we were wrong? Ravi felt the same doubts, but he knew they had to try. Just when they were about to give up, they saw the figure moving through the shadows. There he is, Ravi whispered urgently. They quietly slipped out of the house, careful not to make any noise. Stay close, Ravi instructed as they followed the man from a safe distance. The man walked quickly, glancing around as if he didn't want to be seen. Where is he going? Arjun wondered. They followed him down a narrow alley, their hearts racing with fear and anticipation. Finally, the man stopped in front of an old abandoned building. He looked around one last time before slipping inside. What is he doing there? Ravi whispered, trying to make sense of it. We need to get closer, Arjun replied, his voice trembling slightly. They carefully approached the building, making sure to stay hidden in the shadows. When they reached the entrance, they peered inside and saw the man talking to someone, a group of pupils. Ravi strained to hear their conversation, but the words were unclear. Are they planning something dangerous? Ravi thought, his heart racing. Should we go in and see or try to listen from outside? As they debated their next move, the door suddenly opened and they found themselves almost caught. Did someone see us? Arjun's eyes widened in fear. Should we run or stay to see what happens next? The Neighborhood Hero, Chapter 5, The Unknown Threat. Ravi and Arjun could barely keep their hearts from pounding out of their chests as they remained hidden, wondering if they had been seen. But when no one approached them, they realized they were safe. That was close, Arjun whispered, his heart still racing. But now we need to find out what they are planning, Ravi said with determination. They waited patiently, trying to listen to what was happening inside. They heard some voices, but they were muffled. Then they caught a few words that echoed in their minds. Tomorrow night and be ready. They are planning something big, Ravi concluded. We have to do something. Arjun nodded in agreement. But what? Ravi said seriously. We should go to the police. This is beyond us. Arjun nodded, agreeing. But will they believe us? He asked doubtfully. We will have to convince them, Ravi replied confidently. We have to make our case crystal clear. They soon went to the nearest police station and spoke to the officers there. At first, the police looked at their story skeptically, but when they detailed the events they had witnessed, the officers grew serious. This could be a serious matter, one officer said. We can't ignore this. We will look into it. As the police promised to investigate the building, Ravi and Arjun felt a bit of relief. But on their way home, a terrifying possibility crossed Ravi's mind. What if that man recognizes us and comes after us? He thought, his heart racing with fear. Did we put ourselves and our families in danger? The Neighborhood Hero, Chapter 6, A Sense of Danger. In the following days, Ravi and Arjun noticed something strange happening. Things around them began to change. They noticed a stranger occasionally lurking in their street, watching them with suspicious eyes. Are we being watched? Arjun whispered one day. Ravi shared his concern. Could this be someone from the group we exposed? He asked. The thought made Ravi's heart pound. What if they are coming after us? The boys decided to be extra cautious. They stayed alert, watching for anything unusual. Days passed and nothing happened, but the tension remained. Are we safe? Or are they just waiting for the right moment? Ravi couldn't stop thinking. One evening, as they were walking home from school, they noticed a car following them. Is it just a coincidence? Arjun asked, trying to stay calm. But the car kept its distance, never getting too close. We need to find out who that car belongs to, Ravi said, trying to hide his fear. They planned to lead the car into a crowded area where they could lose it and then see who was in it. Are you sure about this? Arjun asked, nervous but trusting Ravi's instincts. It's our best chance, Ravi replied, determined to get answers. The plan worked. They lost the car in traffic, and then circled back to see who was driving it. To their surprise, the driver was someone they didn't recognize. Who is he? Arjun whispered, confused. The man got out of the car, and just as they were about to confront him, they saw a familiar face in the crowd. It was the same police officer they had spoken to earlier. Why is this officer here? Ravi wondered. Is he involved in this? Or is he here to help us? As they approached the officer, the man who had been in the car noticed them and started to run. Should we chase him or wait for the officer? Ravi's mind raced. What if this is our only chance to find out the truth? The Neighborhood Hero, Chapter 7, The Unveiling of the Truth. The officer looked at Ravi and Arjun and quickly came over to them. What is going on? Ravi asked, still trying to piece everything together. We have been investigating this case further, the officer explained. The man you just saw is a part of a bigger operation. We have been keeping an eye on him, and it seems he has been watching you too. Ravi felt a mix of relief and fear. So we were in danger after all, he thought. But why us? Arjun asked, still confused. The officer sighed. You two stumbled upon something we hadn't initially expected. But don't worry, we are on it. The boys felt a little better knowing the police were involved, but the fear lingered. What if they if they come after us again? Ravi couldn't shake the worry. We have to be brave, Arjun said, trying to stay positive. We have come this far, we can't back down now. The officer assured them they would be protected but also warned them to stay vigilant. We are close to wrapping this up, he said, but until then, you need to be careful. The boys nodded, understanding the seriousness of the situation. That night, as Ravi lay in bed, he heard a noise outside his window. Is it just the wind? He tried to calm himself, but then he saw a shadow moving in the yard. Are they here? Ravi thought, gripped by fear. Should I wake my parents or check it out myself? The Neighborhood Hero, Chapter 8, The Hero's Decision. Ravi's mind raced as he considered his options. I should wake my parents, he thought, but something held him back. What if it is nothing? The thought of causing unnecessary panic made him hesitate. But then he remembered the shadow and the car. It's too risky to ignore this, he decided. He quietly got out of bed and peeked out the window. The shadow was still there, slowly moving closer to the house. I have to do something, Ravi thought, his heart pounding. He grabbed his phone and quickly sent a message to Arjun. There is someone outside my house. Within moments, Arjun replied, what should we do? I'm going to check it out myself, Ravi typed, then put down the phone and took a deep breath. I have to be brave, he tried to calm himself. He quietly made his way downstairs, careful not to make a sound. As he reached the door, he looked out the window. The shadow was right outside the door. Ravi's heart was pounding in his chest. Should I open the door and confront them? He wondered. Or is it too dangerous? His hand slowly reached for the door handle, trying to decide if he was ready to face the challenge. Am I prepared for what comes next? The Neighborhood Hero, Chapter 9, The Decisive Moment. Ravi took a deep breath and gently turned the doorknob. As the door creaked open, he saw that the shadow was none other than Arjun. What are you doing here? Ravi whispered, unable to hide his surprise. I came to help you, Arjun said quickly. You sent me a message, and I thought you might try something alone. Ravi smiled in a mix of relief and surprise. I'm glad you are here, he said. They both stepped outside and moved towards the shadow. There is something here, Arjun said softly, pointing to a dark corner. They slowly approached, staying alert. As they got closer, they saw a piece of paper lying on the ground. Ravi picked up the paper and tried to read it. It had a message. You have seen too much. Beware. Their hearts began to race. They know we have been watching them, Arjun said, his voice shaking. We need to tell the police, Ravi said firmly. We can't ignore this threat. As they ran back to the house with the paper, they heard footsteps behind them. Is someone following us? Ravi thought, his heart pounding. What if we get caught? His mind was flooded with questions, and fear threatened to overwhelm his courage. The Neighborhood Hero, Chapter 10. Ravi and Arjun ran as fast as they could towards the police station. Their hearts were pounding, and the weight of fear pressed on their chests. What if we don't make it in time? Ravi thought, consumed by worry and fear. But when they reached the station, they saw that the officers were already prepared to deal with the situation. We have received your message, the chief officer said, who was already at the scene. This matter is indeed serious. We are taking action right now. Ravi and Arjun breathed a sigh of relief, though the worry still lingered. Will everything be okay? Arjun asked quietly. What you two did was incredibly brave, the officer said. Your information helped us stop this threat. As they watched the officers take action, Ravi and Arjun felt a mix of pride and relief. We did it, Ravi said softly, still finding it hard to believe it was all real. After several hours, the police announced that they had arrested the gang responsible for the illegal activities in the neighborhood. Thanks to both of you, an officer said. You two are the real heroes. Ravi and Arjun looked at each other, their eyes shining with pride and satisfaction. We really did keep our neighborhood safe, Arjun said, his voice filled with relief and pride. Yes, Ravi nodded in agreement, and we did it together. But if you hadn't befriended me on the first day, Arjun said, his voice full of gratitude, I might never have been so brave. Ravi smiled. Friendship is true courage, he said, his voice filled with truth and dignity. As they walked back home, Ravi and Arjun realized they had not only kept their neighborhood safe, but had also formed a deep friendship that would last forever. As they walked home, Ravi looked at Arjun and smiled, saying, But I am wondering if another mystery will come our way. Arjun laughed. Now we are ready for it, he replied. We are not just friends now, but a team. But as they reached their homes, they saw another anonymous letter among their mail. What could this be? Ravi thought, and both looked at each other, ready to face a new challenge. This story highlights the courage and friendship that can face any danger. I hope it inspires you to stand by your friends and fight for what is right. That's all from this story. Thanks for watching. Please do comment, like, share, and subscribe your channel Career Ladder. We will meet you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.